Today, we're going to be working with Lion Brand Yarns Schitt's Creek. Now, this is a number 4 medium worsted weight yarn. It comes in a skein of 372 yards and 7 ounces. You're going to need 3 skeins of each, this kind of taupe brown color and this beige color. This one is actually called the Premier, and then this one is called Boho Brown. Fancy. So with these guys, what we're going to do is create our individual motif. So this is completed in Mosaic Crochet. Now we're going to be working from the center, this section here, all the way out. Now the rows or rounds, technically, are a bit repetitive, and that's perfect for a blanket like this because it allows you to really build your confidence working mosaic crochet. Now when you combine these motifs together, you're going to get a beautiful blanket that is just chef's kiss, perfect, beautiful, wonderful. We love it. This uses very basic stitches, just single crochet, double crochet, and chain stitches. Although it's not rated for beginners, that's strictly because we're going to be working with 2 colors at the same time. And while we're only ever crocheting with 1 color at a time, we're juggling 2 colors. Doesn't quite make sense when I say it, but when we start crocheting, you'll see exactly what I mean. So let's get started. All right, so you can follow the pattern for all of the specific stitch instructions along with the stitch counts and all that good stuff. One quick thing you'll need to know before we get started is that this color, our beige, is going to be our A, and the brown will be B. Easy to remember. So to get started, we're going to place a slip knot on our crochet hook. Then we're going to chain 4 stitches. Insert your hook into the 4th chain from your hook, and we're going to join to make a little ring. Now, we're going to chain 3, which will count as our first stitch, and then we're going to work 16 double crochets into that ring. So there's 3 and 16. Now, on that very last double crochet, we're actually not going to finish it with A. We're going to bring in our B color. So all of the color changes that we make, as soon as I can find the end of my yarn here, so after you have completed your 15th stitch, you're going to just go ahead and repeat the first steps of your double crochet of your 16th stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook into the ring, pull up a loop, and pull through 2. Leave the last 2 loops on your hook. This is how we're going to change colors every round. We'll yarn over with our next color and pull through those 2 loops, and then we're ready to start our next round. So round 2 begins with 3 single crochets in each of the first 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. Now you'll notice that our single crochets are in the back loop. Throughout the work, all of our single crochets will always be worked in the back loop only. All of our double crochets will only be worked in the front loop only. All right? Single crochet back loop, double crochet front loop. Now, we're going to work our corner, and our corner is going to be the same throughout. It's a double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet. All right? So we repeat that around. Single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches and then work a corner. So single, chain 2, and single. Single in the next 3, and then a corner. So we single, chain 2, and single. Single in the next 3, and then we have our last stitch, which is going to be a corner. So we single, chain 2, pick up the loop to create the single, drop B, grab A, and finish your single crochet. All right. Now, there's no need to join. This is going to be worked in continuous rounds. So that means that we're not going to be doing any kind of joining, and we don't really need a marker for the beginning of our round because whenever we change our color, we know that's the beginning of our round. All right, so round 3, we're going to single into the next stitch. Now we're going to work a double crochet. We're going to yarn over our hook, insert our hook into the front loop of the double crochet from not the previous round, but the round before that. So 2 rounds before. Insert your hook, pull up a loop, and double crochet. All right. Now single crochet in the next 2 stitches. And now you're at that chain 2 space. We're going to single, chain 2, and single. Then we'll work 2 singles. Now we're going to work a double. So you can see where this stitch is. This single crochet is worked into this stitch here right at the tip of my hook. So we're going to insert our hook into just the front loop of the double crochet 2 rounds before, pick up a loop, and finish it as a double crochet. Then we'll do 2 singles, a corner, so a single, chain 2, single. We'll do 2 singles, double crochet in that next front loop, 2 singles. Now we're at the corner. We're going to do a single, chain 2, and a single. We'll do 2 singles, a double crochet into that front loop, and then 2 singles. Now we're at our last corner, so we need to do a single, chain 2, and another single. And then you can see that we got like this mess here going on. That's just from where we changed colors. So we're just gonna tighten that up a little bit. Give your tails there a little tug. Usually that'll clean it up. Then we'll single into our very last stitch, just basically picking up a loop with A. We're going to grab B, and we're going to finish the single crochet. All right, so this is what your work should look like at this point. Moving on to round 4, we're going to double crochet into the front loop from the last round that we worked with B, so 2 rounds before, and it's right next to the double crochet from the last round. Okay, then single into the next double. Now you're going to double into each of the next 2 singles from 2 rounds before. Okay, so you can see how we work those. Then we're at that corner. We're going to work a single. Into the corner, we'll work a single, chain 2, single, another single crochet. Then in those 2 singles from 2 rounds before we get to the double crochet from the round before, we'll work 2 doubles. Then single, Now we're at that corner. So again, we're going to single, chain two, and single. Work a single crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 double crochets. So you can see how essentially we're doing the same thing on each of these 4 sides. The tricky part really comes in at the beginning and the end. But that's only on one side, so the other 3 sides match. If you can master doing it one time, you'll be able to master doing it twice more. So that's one of the really nice things about working in a square as opposed to working in a round. You kind of get to do the same thing over and over, but it doesn't quite feel like it because it changes a little bit with each side. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and continue working, finish this round. So we just have a few more stitches. I know my thumb might be getting in the way, but when the motif is this small, I have to hold on to my stitches right when I'm crocheting. So I apologize if that happens. This is where always being able to read the pattern is a really great kind of additional skill. All right, so our last corner, we're going to single, chain two, single, and then we're going to do single in the last single crochet of that corner. Then we need to work a double crochet. Now, because this is worked where we changed colors, it's a little wonky, but just find that front loop, insert your hook, pull up a loop, and work a double crochet. Now it does look a little bit higher. Don't worry, it's okay. And I forgot, don't finish off that double crochet with B. You want to finish it with A. We always want to finish with that next color. Moving on to round 5, we're going to single crochet in that next double crochet. No, we're not. Moving on to round 5, we're going to start expanding our center here. So to do that, we're going to work some extra stitches into this single double crochet from 2 rounds before. But to do that, we have to equal the stitch count out. So we're going to yarn over our hook and we're going to work 3 double crochets into this front loop here. We're going to skip the double crochets from the last round on either side. We'll also skip the single crochet that's at the back of the double crochet from the last round because again, we're going to work 3 stitches. We need to make sure that 3 stitches are subtracted from the last round. The increase in stitches that we work every round only come from the corners. If you increase stitches on each of these 4 sides, that's when you're going to get waviness. So if you're seeing a little bit of waviness, go back and count your stitches, and each of the 4 sides should be exactly the same. So we're going to work 3 double crochet. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Then we'll skip that double from the last round and single into the next double, okay? Then we're going to double into the next single from 2 rounds before, single in the next single from the last round, and then work our corner. So single, chain 2, single. Now we're going to do that again. We're going to single in the next single, double into the single from 2 rounds before, single into the next double from the last round, then work 3 doubles into the double from 2 rounds before. So 1, 2, and 3. Skip that next double, single into the double after that, then double into the next single, single into the next single before the corner, and then work your corner. So single, chain 2, single. Let's do that again. Single into the next single, double into the next single, single into the next double, skip the next double, and work 3 doubles into the double from 2 rounds before. Skip the next double, single into the next double, double into the next single, and then single into the next single. Work your corner. All right, so single into the next single, double into the next single, single into the next double, then 3 doubles into the double from 2 rounds before. Okay. Skip the next double, single into the double after that. Go ahead and work that double into the next single, single crochet into the next single from the last round before your chain 2 space, and then in that chain 2 work your corner of single, chain 2, single, single into the single crochet right after that chain 2 space, double into the next single after that stitch. Now, here's the thing, when we get to the end, you're probably like, well, what do I do? Because we've been skipping this double crochet. Well, remember, we technically already skipped a double crochet before the 3 doubles. It's just down here. There's that little giddy up there. And so we still want to work our single into that last double, but we want to make sure to change our colors. All right? All right, take a deep breath. It's going to get easier. I promise you'll catch on really quick. Now, we're going to essentially, whenever we work with this taupe brown, it's like an easy rest row. So we're going to single into the next 3 doubles. Then we'll double into the double from 2 rounds before, the one that we did not skip. So here's our skip stitch. Here's the one we worked into. So we're just going to do 1 double. It doesn't really matter which front loop, to be honest with you. It just looks cleaner if you do it in the stitch where we worked that single crochet. All right. Single into the next double. Double into the next single from 2 rounds before. Now we're going to work that corner. So remember, single, then chain 2 space, we work a single, chain 2 single, and then another single into the next single. Okay? Now we'll double into the single from 2 rounds before, single into the next double, double into the double from 2 rounds before, and then single into each of the next 3 double crochets. Double into the next double from 2 rounds before, single into the next double, double into the single from 2 rounds before, single into the next single, and then in that chain 2 space we work a single, chain 2, single. All right? So it should be looking something like this. Let's do that 2 more times. So we're going to double into the single from 2 rounds before. Single into the next double. Double into the double 2 rounds before. Single into each of the next 3 doubles. Double into the next double from 2 rounds before, single into the next double, then single into the next single. Now in that corner, we're going to work a single. Into the chain 2 space, we work a single, chain 2, single, and a single into the next single. Okay? You can kind of see it's starting to come together. We're getting there. All right, so we're going to double into the next single, single into the next double, double into the next double 2 rounds before, single into the next 3 doubles, double into the double 2 rounds before, single into the next double, double into the single 2 rounds before, single into the next single, in that chain 2 space, work your single, chain 2, single. All right, then we need to work a single and a single, double in the single from 2 rounds before, then single in the next double. Now, we get to the end, what do we do? Because again, it's got that little giddy up there. All you're going to do is work a double into the single, okay? Or sorry, you're going to work a double into the double from 2 rounds before. And then you're going to finish it off with your A, okay? So this is what it should look like right after you finish that round. All right, moving on to the next round, we're going to, again, expand this 3 double crochet section to 5. So the way we're going to do that, again, is just by rearranging stitches. We're not skipping stitches. We're not decreasing or increasing on the insides. We're only increasing in the corners. So we need to go ahead and just, like I said, rearrange some stitches. So to do that, we're going to work 2 double crochets into that first front loop. Okay, 1 double crochet into the next, and then 2 double crochet into the stitch after that. So you can see we have 2, 1, 2. Okay, now we need to skip a stitch because we technically increased 1 here and we have 3 behind. So we need to go 3 and then we're going to skip that one. Now, we're not going to drop down and connect this front loop double crochet. What we're going to do is just single into the back of the single crochet. Okay, so skip the next double, single into the next single, single into the double after that. Now, we're going to work a double into that front loop. Then we're going to work our corner. So we single in the next single, in the next chain 2 space, we single, chain 2, single, and single into the next single. Now, moving forward on these rounds as we get longer, for time purposes, it's going to make more sense if I just show you one specific side. Since all these sides are pretty much the same, I'm going to show you how to complete one side. Then you'll do that twice more. I'll always show you how to begin and how to end that specific round. But these 2 sides, after I show you how to do this one, are worked exactly the same. They're not going to change. All right. So to get started, we're going to double into the single from 2 rounds before, single into the next double, single into the next single. Now we're going to skip the next double, and into the double from 2 rounds before, we're going to work 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and 2 double crochets. We'll skip the next double, single in the next single, single in the next double, double in the next single, and now we're at our corner, so we'll work our single, and into the chain 2 space we work a single, chain 2, and a single. Then we work a single in the next single. So go ahead, repeat that process twice more. When we come back, I'll show you how to complete this round. After you've completed your last corner, you're going to work a double into the next single, so it mirrors and it matches. Then you're going to work a single in the next 2 stitches. Now when you get to this point, you'll have one stitch left, which is the double crochet. We're actually going to skip that stitch. And the way that we're going to skip it is just not work it. And that's going to even our stitch count out. That last single crochet you work, you want to make sure to switch to your next color. That's a one step I always forget and have to redo every time. All right, so let's continue with our next round. So what we're going to do next is we're going to single into each of the next 5 doubles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we're going to drop down and we're not going to work a double into the double we skipped, but we're going to work a double in the next 2 front loops from 2 rounds before. So it's a single and then a double. All right. Then we'll single in the next double. Then we'll work a double in the next single from 2 rounds before. Okay. Now you're going to work your corner. So single in the next single, in the chain 2 space, do your single, chain 2, single, and then single in the next single. This is the side that you'll repeat twice more. You're going to double into the next single, single in the next double, then work 2 doubles in each of the next 2 stitches from 2 rounds before, single into the next 5 doubles from the last round, then you're going to double in the next 2 stitches from 2 rounds before, single in the next double, and then double in the next single. Then you'll work your corner, so single, and then in the chain 2 space, work a single, chain 2, and a single. And then you repeat that around. So essentially all we're doing is kind of bringing up a few of those stitches on either side of those center 5 double crochets on each of the sides of our squares. So you should end up with 2 sets of 2 doubles and 2 sets of 1 doubles on each of your sides. I'm going to go ahead and keep working around, finish this round, and we'll come back and I'll show you actually how to finish it before we move on to our next round. After you've worked your last corner, and you kind of get to those last couple of stitches before the beginning of the round, all you're going to do is work your double crochet in the 2 stitches from 2 rounds before, and you'll finish off that last double crochet by changing to your new color. And that's it. Now, moving on to the next round, you're simply going to kind of repeat what we did 2 rounds before. You're going to start noticing now that we've established the pattern, everything becomes quite repetitive. And it's really, really easy to kind of see what you're doing, where you make mistakes, and fix those mistakes. So we're going to work 2 double crochet with our A in our next stitch, then 1 double crochet in the next 3 doubles, and then in the last double we'll work 2. So you can see we've went from 1, 3, 5, and now 7. We're going to skip the next double, and into each of the next 3 stitches, we're just going to single crochet in that back loop. Okay? Then we'll drop down and double into the stitch from 2 rounds before, work our corner, all right, so on this side, again, we're going to drop down, work our double, Now we're going to single in the next 3 stitches. Okay, skipping that last double, we'll work 2 doubles in the first, whoops, and then we'll single in each of the next 3, and then, sorry, we'll double in each of the next 3. We'll work a single double in the next 3, and then we'll do 2 doubles in the last stitch. So again, going from 5 to 7. Skip that next double and single into the next 3 stitches. All right, drop down, work your corner, all right. So again, we work a double and then single in the next 3. Okay, good, cool. Single in the next 3. And then we will skip the next double, 2 doubles in the next stitch. Then we're going to work 1 double in each of the next 3 front loops and 2 doubles in the last front loop. Then we skip the next double. We work a single in each of those next 3 stitches. Work a double into the next stitch, and then again we're going to work a single, chain 2, single. So go ahead and repeat that process once more, and then when we come back, we'll be at this section here, ready to end and start our next round. After you've worked your last corner, before you end your round, you're simply going to work a double into the single from 2 rounds before, and then you'll single into the next 3 stitches. Again, you'll change color on the very last single, and we're just going to skip that last stitch and pretend it's not there before we start on our next round. So beginning our next round, we're going to single into each of the next 7 double crochets. Then we're going to double into the next 3 stitches from 2 rounds before. We'll single into the next double, double into the next single, then we'll single into the next single, single, chain 2, single in the next chain 2 space, and single into the next single. Now, what I want to show you here is, again, the repetition of this square, because now that we've established the center, you can kind of start using those crochet skills to really take a look at what's going on. On every other row, we're kind of doing something that we did 2 rounds before. So on all of the rounds that include B, this brown color, we're single crocheting into the back loops kind of across these center diamonds, right? Then we double into the next 3 stitches from 2 rounds before. So the last time we used the brown, you'll notice that we have 1 double, now we have 2, then we go up to 3 on our current round. Now, the corners here always stay the same. We have a double before, then we work our corner, and then we have a double after. you can really see the pattern start to form here, where every single round we work a double, a corner, and a double, right? All right, so continuing on with this round of the motif, we're going to drop down and double into the next single. Then we'll single into the next double. We're going to work 3 doubles. So 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to single into the next 7 doubles. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then we'll double into each of the next 3 stitches. Single into the next double. Double into the next single. Then go ahead and work your corner. And you'll repeat that all the way around. So I hope this video has given you a nice firm foundation on how to crochet this particular motif. If you'd like the full written pattern, you can find the link to that in the description down below. As well as a link to the kit, which includes this gorgeous acrylic Schitt's Creek yarn. I absolutely loved working with this, and it makes a really, really great blanket, you guys. The pattern also includes instructions on how to size up and size down using this particular motif. And it includes an option for a border, which can be added once all of the squares are joined together using your preferred method. So I hope you had fun learning a little something new today, and I can't wait to see what you create. Make sure you follow me, all the links in the description below, and we'll see you next time, guys. Bye.